Hey guys, an update on gold, silver, the dollar, because I think we need to look at it all together. Also, the local newspaper here now posted that, Europe will take, how should I say it? Like they will also put some sort of tariffs on the US, but they stalled it until February 6th, and they want to give a chance for dialogue with Trump before that date to see if they can come to an agreement, which they probably will. I don't think that this will escalate, man. It doesn't. Uh, I don't think it has to for either Europe or America. America just did its thing with Venezuela. I think with this one on top of it, it will be too much. They will fix a deal, and then I think it will just be maybe Tuesday, a rat day. But I don't know. I don't think it's yet time for a larger crash. Yes, some stocks I expect downside price action, but that's not the whole market. Okay, for example, Apple, I didn't show in my video earlier, but Apple has had one. Yeah, I mean, I don't count these as really green weeks. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and if you want to count this one as well, 7 weeks of downside price action. Yeah, these candles are green, but I mean, are they really green? I don't know. And I expect, for example, a push up here. I expect strength with Meta still. I don't want this to break. But then I expect downside price action for Meta, for Nvidia, although the weekly candle here looks nice, but if you zoom in, it doesn't look so nice. Google, I'm expecting correction here, bearish divergence here, lowering volume. But okay, we're here not to talk about that again. Let's first start with the euro versus the dollar. So euro had a nice run last year against the dollar, 17% up, and then the last few weeks the dollar has picked up a little bit. The euro rallied again, but then here I think is when Venezuela happened, showed again some strength for the dollar. Of course, with all the oil coming in and the oil that will be traded with the dollar instead of Venezuela trading with China for other assets than the dollar. Let's see if this can pick up. It doesn't have to go like here, but if it does something like this, it will be already like less worrying to me. But if this keeps going like this, then the dollar together with the DXY dropping, then the dollar is looking really bad. And I think that's the major reason silver and gold are rallying. The dollar is just not a certainty anymore. People are selling treasury bonds like other countries. China is stacking gold. And you have just regular people as well, I think, who just buy gold. I mean, where I live, you have a lot of FOMO as well now with just regular people who don't trade or invest. They just buy gold from the jewelry. So that's also an interesting topic by itself. Like there is a lot of, if you want to call it dumb money, that's now FOMOing into gold and silver. Just with that thought, I'm already thinking, look, maybe there might be for gold and silver a correction ahead of us, just to liquidate them maybe a little bit. I don't know. Also, then for in the long term, I think they want to digitalize everything. Like they want to ultimately, I think, get rid of cash, and I think this would also count for, physical gold and silver that you buy and can hold, because there is also, especially then here in Western Europe, you have a lot of people that somehow get dirty money in their heads, like money that's not been taxed, that's not in the books. They buy gold and silver with it, it never get taxed. Maybe also to remove this from the system, they want to digitalize maybe even gold and silver. What would this mean? That people need to get rid of their physical gold and silver. I don't know if that's possible, how that's gonna play out, but it's an interesting thought I have on my mind, which, yeah, I don't know how to answer. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into that because that's another. I've been thinking about all of it this whole weekend, but okay, let's stay at the topic here. So if I look at the DXY, similar, yeah, it's just this in reverse, but this is the dollar, this is the euro versus the dollar, this is dollar in general, I think, against like all of the other currencies measured. But you can see, yeah, here the euro is falling, dollar is rising. We reacted to the 0.618, but I'm not going to do any more analysis into this because there is also no volume, nothing you can use. But it's looking at like it's trying, the dollar at least. I think if this can happen, if this rally can happen for the dollar, then it would give some weakness for gold and for silver, okay? I think. Let's start with silver. I have here a company from Mexico, I think it was. Man, I had this one here, but then I sold here because I thought, it's going too slow. And then it just went vertical. Like, I had this box already here. Also, I had no capital. Like, I have limited capital. I need to pick stocks, so yeah, I hate it, but I just need to be patient. Later, when I have more capital, I can, yeah, have more positions. I assume, I hope, if I make it. But here, I had this 1-2 setup with which I calculated this yellow box. Then inside here, another 1-2 setup with which I calculated this blue box. And you can see we are approaching here this $63, $64 level, okay? There is confluence with both FIPS. Will it be the will it be the level where you start to crash? I don't think so. You will maybe do a wave 4 then here in blue, which would give a few weeks, okay, for this to cool off, if it does. If you look at here, I had a volume profile from this range. Price did react to it exactly, and it gave a few weeks here with cooling off, okay? With this cooling off, maybe dollar can rally. It will be good for, I guess, then the economy because the dollar is strengthening again, or whatever you want to call it, however you want to call it. But I think it will be good for stocks as well. Like, it's my opinion. I'm not an expert, okay, in this subject. If I look then at the silver price, if we look at the silver miner processor and the silver price itself, very similar, okay. And then here with silver, we also have, look, it pierced through the previous FIPS. I took these FIPS from this 1-2 setup. It pierced just through it, but as you can see, it's just going vertical at this point. That never happens. Like, yeah, it happens, but then it needs to cool off. Okay, this one was insane. this one was a little bit crazy here. Whoa. So it does happen, but yeah, when do you know when it stopped? We have the 786 here at 96.27. Let's see if that one is gonna give any resistance. If not, we have the 2 and then the 2.618 I'll add. And the 2 point. Or I'll add the 236. Doesn't really matter too much. But like this. So yeah, we have 96.22 in confluence with, for the mining company, the $63, $64 level. Okay. Which could give a little bit of a sell-off. I don't think it's gonna crash. Together with that, at least on the mining stock, we have also got bearish divergence here. Okay. So let's see, interesting. Again, I don't think it's gonna crash, but just a little bit of sideways price action would be really appreciated. Also just then then we know, okay, it's following a little bit the analysis, okay? Because it's very hard to do the analysis on gold and silver because it's related a lot to risk. It's related a lot to people trusting the dollar and the economy. You can't exactly know the exact volume because, okay, on this stock you can, but on the silver price and the gold's price itself, you can't because there is also so much physical trading. And I think a lot of gold and silver that China purchases doesn't come on that tracker from the US. So I'm not an expert again, but at least for this company, it would be nice if it's respected and if the silver price follows along, okay? Of course, we're in a third wave, it can always extend, yes. But at some point, I want to see a range, and then I want silver to do the same. Now, gold, I have this fib here taken from this 1-2 setup. I just started here because this is the last large correction you had from 2011 to 2016. Then a 1-2 setup here, very ugly because I have a 3-wave move here, but okay. We have been pushing, next fib is the 1.618 at 4,854. Volume is still insane high, so it keeps increasing, okay? So I think it's not over yet. Yes, we can get a wave 4 potentially, and then still a fifth with lower volume. Then we could say, okay, maybe it's gonna end. But until then, yeah, it's looking too strong. We do have bearish divergence though, back to back, okay? Usually it gives then a period of sideways or some correction. We might get it. We might also first push towards this 1.618. I'm not sure, but this is a level that we can watch. Then I need to adjust these fibs, of course, for this wave 4, depending on how high we can go. And then we want to make one more 4-5 with lower volume. And then a larger bearish divergence on the RSI and on here. Of course, again, this can go, okay? Really, I'm in no position to say when we can top, when we might top. I can give you this level here. The previous one got respected a little bit here, rejected, then wicked in it, then here again. So it's not that it's completely irrelevant. Watch the $4,850 level, and then, yeah, that's really all I can say. Gold price is seen from next week. That's very well. Great, good, hope, grow, okay. That's also good for stocks. But again, like everything is pumping stocks, gold, so it's really tricky. Normally it doesn't happen that they go in sync. Yeah, it's risky in the world, that's why gold's pumping, yep, but there's also a lot of FOMO. A lot of dumb money is buying gold now because of the FOMO. In general, there's way more people buying assets now than 20 years ago because it's so easy, you can do it on your phone and everyone knows about it. Plus, yeah, the distrust in gold, in the dollar is, yeah, raising a little bit. Rising, not raising, rising a little bit. Because of inflation, because of what Trump is doing, like he's messing around with everybody. So let's see. I was thinking like maybe the Venezuela thing might make this drop because the dollar will go up. It started, yeah, the dollar looks like it's strengthening a little bit. But if you see this now as well, then that theory will be playing out. And that's the only reason I can think of why gold should and silver should cool off. It's that the dollar is strengthening because of Venezuelan oil. Otherwise, I don't see it slowing down as, like, I don't see it doing a deeper correction or a longer correction anytime soon because China will keep buying. With that being said, also we need to keep an eye on Trump's meeting with the Chinese president in April. I think he's gonna visit China potentially, and then also with Mark Rutte. He's the top, he's the president of the European Union, I think now. He's meeting with Trump next week, or yeah, I think it was next week. Also interesting what's that gonna give, what that is gonna give. Then for Bitcoin, I'm looking to correct this whole, and I'm covering Bitcoin because it's a risk asset. Generally, if this is going good, gold is a little bit more quiet, but not this time, of course. But Bitcoin is just a nice indicator for risky assets, I think. We have had this move up. I think we need to correct it now, move into these FIPS. We've had this move to the downside. I think we're going to get a push, maybe even to 111,000 to this point of control here, but it might even overshoot, maybe backtest this trend line again. And then I hope still to see a third wave in a larger ABC to the downside, okay? Maybe this is already it and we're going to go higher in a more bullish scenario. Yes, that's possible. It's been looking good, honestly. It's been holding this point of control. RSI is grinding up. The weekly candle here last week was nice, this volume. And together with that, Mara Holdings as well, Bitcoin mining company, has made a bullish divergence here on the weekly. And then also here in the low candle in the wick, we have this engulfing volume candle. And then last week as well, engulfing volume, it's been pushing. We are between the 0.5 and the 0.618, taken from this low to this high. We are in this red box measured from this W and X wave. So really I'm thinking, if you ask me gold and silver, I'm thinking of all of these things together: Bitcoin, silver, gold, silver mining, Bitcoin mining. I don't have a gold mining company that I'm tracing, but then as well, yeah, what's the dollar doing? How is it doing against the euro? And then as well, what's happening in the news? What's China doing? And to give you an answer, what's gonna happen, I can't. It's too much. I can give you levels. That's what I did. I hope you liked the video, and let's see how it plays out. I've said everything that I'm thinking. We will see in a few weeks how it played out, and yeah, I'm excited for that. I hate weekends. I can't wait for the market to open. Why is tomorrow a holiday in the US? See you next time. Bye bye.